Hey everybody, it's Kim Dahnke, the Shibboleth new member fast track instructor. I am so glad that you are here with me tonight for the food combining webinar. This is 1 full hour on the types of foods that come in these categories, what categories go together. We're going to recap MCT oil. We're going to go over condiments, and then we're going to hit some other just random things that people like to know about. And I'm so thankful that you are here with me. If you are on Facebook, please take a second to say hello. If you are not a member and you're in the Facebook, if you are in Facebook or in the Zoom room, please let me know if you're not a member. I just want to tell you that you are our special guest, and non-members, first class is always free, and then you'd want to get a membership at shibbolethdeals.com, shibbolethdeals.com. If you have just joined us, welcome. We are so glad that you are a part of our lifestyle. And some of you may be restarting. You need a refresh. You need to have a do-over. That's great. I'm glad that you knew where to come. I'm so happy that you knew that Fast Track was here. So let's see who's here in the Zoom room with me. Hey, Angelia and Sandra and Laura and Deb. Hey there. I'm so glad that y'all are here with me tonight. Now, Deb, do you remember Michelle Lytle from some of our groups? The Saturday Accountability Group. I got to meet her tonight. She was in Kennesaw, Georgia, all the way from Michigan. So she lives in Michigan. She was visiting her daughter in Jasper, Tennessee, which is right near Chattanooga. And so she drove down today to the store to get to meet us. It was so much fun. I thought you would remember her from our classes. Hey, Becky, glad you're here. Okay, well, I am so happy that all of y'all are on here with me. So tonight we're going to learn about simple food combining. Now, the combinations, now I hope that you've watched last night's video. If you are here with me tonight and you have not watched last night's video, please know that you can still be here. I want you here. It will help. But make sure that you go back and watch last night's video. Last night's video is the lifestyle overview, and it's pretty important to know what you need to do every single day. I mean, we just call it our 5 daily disciplines. It's following the Shibboleth Shield. This is drinking your water every day. And I'm like, where is my water? Oh, goodness. Oh, here it is. Drinking your water every day, and then making sure that you journal, writing down everything that you eat in the right food combinations to control insulin, which is what we're going to go over tonight, and then doing the right portions and trying to give yourself a break between meals to digest. Give yourself 4 to 6 hours between meals when possible. If you don't hit that one just right, that's the only one out of the 5 daily disciplines that if you don't hit just right, it doesn't throw you off of having a perfect day. But you do want to get those first 4 in for sure. If you're on Facebook, please take a second to just let me know that you're there, because I can't see any comments if y'all are there, and I just want to assess what's going on over there on Facebook. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to share my screen with you. We're going to look at the Fast Track website. Okay, so this is an extra little website that has been created specifically for Fast Track. And if you want to see how to access this later, all you have to do is go to the Fast Track program. See, Fast Track is a curriculum that was designed in a very methodical, organized way for you to work your way through these, getting your account all set up straight in the best way possible. So right here where it says simple food combining website link, that's what I'm clicking on right now. So you will have access to this after tonight. And then if you didn't get to watch last night's webinar, please go right here where it says watch the daily Fast Track webinars. There are 7. Now, just to let you know, they repeat every week, and you are welcome to come here every night, because I typically will hit something new every single night. So I would highly welcome you here. But this is where you're going to find last night's webinar, right there in lap 2. You come right here. And if you don't know how to get to Fast Track, when you received your welcome email, it should say, click here to go to Fast Track, and boom, it takes you right to Fast Track. But if for some reason you don't have that email anymore, you click on dashboard up here at the top, and then you'll be in fast track, and you start off with lap 1. It might look like a long list, but some of these take like 2 and 3 seconds each to do them. Okay. And then these are your printables. And if you have a printer, you can print them. If you don't have a printer, just read them. But this is, and make notes on your own paper. But these are very important things. Lap 2 is all about getting your account set up in just the right way. And then I just house some other things right there. And then we will go over lap 3 through lap 7 each night together. So I can help shorten your learning curve on learning our awesome and amazing website. There's a lot in this website. And if I can just kind of guide you through the way these pages are laid out, you'll have an easier time. And get there faster. So that's what I'm hoping to do. All right. So that's where you find fast track link that I'm going over tonight. Okay. So we're going to recap MCT oil real quick, and then we're going to go over condiments. We didn't even talk about condiments last night because basically I don't have time on Sunday night to even mention condiments, but condiments is kind of its own little category, but cooking oils and fats. So on Shibboleth, it is basically some simple swaps. All right. You're simply buying some new products at the store. If you bought this type of loaf bread before, then you might need to buy this new kind. If you bought a certain tortilla before, you might need to buy this new kind. If you were buying a certain cereal before, you might need to buy this new kind. So you would look the foods up that you've previously purchased and see if they're in the recipe library, not the recipe, food library. If they're in the food library, all you got to do is read how to use them, and you can use what's there. If it is not approved for Shibboleth, it still can be used on a holiday. You just wouldn't use it on a perfect day. All right. So, but what these oils are, these are your swaps for oils. We don't use olive oil on Shibboleth because it is a long chain triglyceride and it has a great propensity to be stored on the body as fat. If you want to use olive oil on a holiday, you can. And at restaurants where it's going to sometimes end up on your food, that's fine. That's fine. It's just that we're not going to choose to use that on a perfect day where we are handling our own food making. Okay. And that's not the only thing that's a long chain triglyceride. All the other oils like canola oil, vegetable oil, those types of things, olive oil, they are all long chain triglycerides. We're going to use 100% MCT, medium chain triglyceride. It's just a shorter fat lipid. So imagine a longer fat lipid and a shorter fat lipid. Which one's going to burn up faster? This one. And also these longer fat lipids are more dense. Okay. So it takes them a long time to break down. So all I had to hear was this next statement. 100% MCT oil has almost no propensity to be stored on your body as fat. Thank you. That's what I want. But a long chain triglyceride has a great propensity to be stored on your body as fat. I hadn't bought any other oil besides MCT oil in 2.5 years. So the other oil you could use is coconut oil. It's not 100% MCTs. It's about 66% MCTs. Well, how do you get 100% MCTs? You just pull all the MCTs out of, most of the time it's coconut oil. And then ghee butter. But now MCT oil is flavorless. There is no real flavor to it. Although I do find that I like it, especially with some seasoning in it. And even when I cook in it, I will use it as a little au jus sauce after. And you'll notice that it says 1 tablespoon. So let's say you're cooking yourself 1 piece of chicken in a pan, you could use 1 tablespoon. But let's say that you've got 6 people in your family. You could put 6 tablespoons in a pan and then cook those 6 chicken breasts up in there, and that'll be fine. So it's 1 tablespoon per serving when you're cooking things. So you've got coconut oil and then ghee butter. Ghee butter is really just butter, real butter, that has been clarified, meaning all the milk solids have been pulled out of it. And I'm live on Facebook. Diane, it looks like it's live on Facebook. It went live on Facebook, but yeah, totally Facebook is messed up. So yeah, get that. I'm glad you're over here in the Zoom room, Diane, and thank you. So Laura, I have not had any people that said they had a problem with it, but I would not want you to test that out without asking your doctor. Okay. I would not want you to test that without asking your doctor. So I would ask your doctor that. The coconut, most of the time it is. It also can come from, okay, so Laura has asked me, what do you do if you're allergic to coconut? Is an MCT coconut based? Most of the time it is. It also could be palm oil based, but most of the time that I've seen out in regular stores are coconut based. I have not had people tell me that affected them. So I'm not sure if it's the process of pulling out just the MCTs or not that makes the difference, Laura. But you could ask your doctor about it, because I would want you to make sure that that was okay with them. If you cannot use it, just use 0-calorie cooking spray. You'll use 0-calorie cooking spray, or you could use ghee butter too. But I'd probably choose to use the 0-calorie cooking spray unless I'm using the ghee butter for a recipe or something like that. I hope that helps, Laura. Okay, so coconut oil is 66%. Oh, I was on ghee butter. Ghee butter is butter, but it's been clarified, meaning all the milk solids have been pulled out of it. So it's just the fats that's left, and that's 25% MCTs. Now, I use ghee butter for very specific. If I'm cooking a recipe that calls for it, I use it. Or if I'm cooking something where I want to have that butter flavor, I will use it. But I don't just spread it on toast. If I want butter for toast, I use the Brummel and Brown yogurt butter. That's what I use. Now, depending on what I'm doing, I might also use the I Can't Believe It's Not Butter spray. That would work fine too. But ghee butter, the jar is going to say that you should keep it in the refrigerator. It does not have to be kept in the refrigerator because it gets hard as a rock. I mean, I almost bent a spoon trying to get that stuff out of there after it said should be kept in the refrigerator. So that's what I did, but it doesn't have to be. So just letting you know that. And then you can use 0-calorie cooking spray. So that's always a very good go-to if you can't use some of these other things for some reason or another. Now, this is how I make a decision about which I'm going to use. If I am cooking a lean protein, whether it's from category 1 or category 7, because category 1 is lean protein, category 7 is shellfish, which is just a lean protein, but separate, due to the fact that some people, due to medical reasons and biblical reasons, don't want to eat shellfish. It just got put in its own category. But if I am cooking a lean protein, then I'm going to use MCT oil. But if I am cooking a protein plus fat, I'm going to use 0-calorie cooking spray. So a good example is maybe egg whites. If I was doing egg whites, I would do MCT oil. But if I was doing whole eggs, then I would use 0-calorie cooking spray, because whole eggs already have fat in them. I do not need to add additional fat to them. So that's where I use the 0-calorie cooking spray. Now, just to kind of give you another little tip, if you are cooking some egg whites, you probably won't need a full tablespoon to cook egg whites in. It probably drown the little things, unless you're cooking up cups and cups of it, okay? But just kind of a little tip. I just drizzle it in there. All right, now let's go over condiments. See, condiments are super important, because if you think about a piece of chicken, if you just cooked chicken with nothing on it, it would taste like chicken. Every single time it would taste like chicken. But if you want barbecue chicken, you pick the right condiment. If you want Mexican chicken, you pick the right condiment. If you want Italian chicken, you pick the right condiment. So condiments are very important because they make our foods taste like we want them to. So there are so many things that can be used as a condiment that they're not all going to make, oh, Laura, good, I'm glad it did. They're not all going to make their way into the food library. So you just have to know a general rule about condiments. We call it the 5, 2, and few. This is a sprinkling. 5, 2, and few rule. So I'll go over that in a minute. I'm going to read this list. You can use any 0-calorie condiment, 15-calorie or less spices and seasonings, often those little seasoning packets, salt and pepper, salsa, reduced sugar ketchup, mustard, hot sauce, Kraft fat-free mayo. So that's just a tiny list. In fact, everything on this thing that I go over tonight is small lists, but it's enough to get you started. But what the 5, 2, and few rule is this: you want to look at 2 bits of information on the nutrition label. You want it to have 5 grams of sugar or less per serving and 2 grams or less of fat. So you're going to look at the sugar content and the fat content. And one way that you can remember which one is which, the word sugar has 5 letters in it. So you're looking for 5 grams or less of sugar and 2 grams or less of fat. All right. So once you look at that information, if it meets that rule, you can use it as a condiment up to 50 calories. That's the few part, 5, 2, and few. So you can use up to 50 calories of condiments on a combined meal. Now that is, and I say combined meal because we don't just randomly add condiments to meal replacements and things like that. Okay. So you can use condiments to make that food taste like it should. So let's say that you want to buy some barbecue sauce and you go, is this one going to work? More than likely it's going to be one of the sugar-free ones, or if it's a little bit more vinegar based, it might be okay, even if it's not quite sugar-free. So you just look at it and see, but you're going to look at those 2 bits of information. Now, I like to share a little practical thing that I had happen to me one time. I normally buy Classico traditional pizza sauce at Kroger, and I went to Publix because I was picking up some different cheese that Publix had, and I said, oh, I need some of that pizza sauce. So I went back to the pizza sauce area and they did not have the Classico traditional pizza sauce. Well, rather than stand there and pull out my phone and type in the name of every single item, there were 6 pizza sauces on the shelf. I literally turned around all 6 and then I started scanning for the sugar content. If it had more than 5 grams of sugar, it's out of the running. I turned it around. I didn't even look at the fat content. It's out of the running. And then based on the ones that had left, I looked at the fat content. And if it had more than 2 grams of fat, I turned it around. So then I was left with two choices out of the 6 worked, and then I just picked one. And so that's how I use that in a practical way. But if I were to pull my phone out and have to stand there and do all of that, that would take so much longer. It's just so much easier just to know the 5, 2, and few rule. Now, if you would like to use multiple condiments on a meal, you can do that. So let's say that you're going to make yourself a 96% lean ground beef hamburger patty, but you want ketchup, mustard, and cheese. Well, you could use a piece of fat-free cheese. It's about 30 calories. And then if you want to put some mustard on there, most mustards are 0 calories. So that wouldn't even count into your 50. And then you could use up to 20 calories of ketchup. That would give you cheese, mustard, and ketchup on a burger. Okay, so you can have multiple condiments on a meal. You just want them all to meet the 5 and 2 part, and then you don't want the total of condiments to go more than 50 calories on a meal. And I have found that I get pretty picky on my condiments now because I just found out I don't need to slap a piece of cheese on everything that I ate. And if I do the condiment total, if I were to have 50 calories worth of condiments on every single meal, that adds up to be 1,050 calories every single week. And we're trying to get into we don't talk much about calories, but I do want you to know this. There's 1 pound of fat, there's 3,500 calories. Well, in order to lose 1 pound of fat, you've got to be in a 3,500 calorie deficit. Well, if you're always giving yourself, condiments on every single meal, you're just slowing the process down just a little bit. So I got really picky on my condiments. Okay, so now that we've recapped oils and we've gone over condiments, I am going to just read out these food items to you. Why do I do that? Because in education, when you're learning something, if you can read it, hear it, and if you personally like it, write it down. There's 3 different ways that have already kind of come into your mind to help you remember which types of food go in these categories, because you want to be making your favorites lists all week long. Make your favorites list. It's very important to do that. So category 1, lean protein, 2 to 8 ounces. If we're being really specific, ladies could go up to 6, men could go up to 8, but I'm going to tell you, I have never measured any of it. I put it underneath my lean protein hand, my protein source hand, and I eat it if it fits. So I have not measured. Okay, but we've got egg whites, fish, all fish is here, chicken breast, turkey breast, pork tenderloin. Now there's a difference because most pork products are in a category 4 protein plus fat, but pork tenderloin is here. If you happen to see any visible fat on there, go ahead and trim that off. Boar's head turkey, boar's head chicken breast, boar's head London broil. There's other deli meats that are approved. We just know boar's head's pretty lean, and that's just a good one to get started with. Low fat cottage cheese, fat free cottage cheese. We also have full fat cottage cheese. It's just a protein plus fat. You have to deal with it in that way. Greek plain yogurt, Hebrew National 97% lean beef franks, and 96% lean ground meat. That's your ground chicken, ground turkey, ground beef. So what this row is saying on this website is that you can, and remember last night when I went over the 7 categories, there's 5 of them that you can eat alone. Who remembers that? Who wants to type that in? Which 5 can you eat alone? Well, category 1 is one of them, obviously, because there's nothing else listed here. But I would love to see if anybody remembered that. So there's 5 you can eat by themselves. So what this row is showing you is that you can eat lean protein by itself. Now it's just going to fit underneath this hand. It's not like you're going to do 2 full hands. It's still just the protein amount, okay? Cook it up in the right oil and doctor it up with the right condiments, and you will have an excellent fat burning meal. Small, but excellent. Okay, so we come down here, we have a brand new category. Category 2, fibrous carbs. Awesome, Becky. Becky got it. Thank you. I love it. So fibrous carbs, a half up to 1 cup. If you are in weight loss mode, you should stick with around a half a cup, okay? But again, I've never measured it. I put it under my fibrous carb hand, and if it fit, I eat it. Boom. It's not hard, but we still don't want to overeat even good things because it stretches your stomach out, and we're trying to get stomachs back to their normal size. Okay, broccoli, asparagus, all squash, okra, green leafy vegetables, spinach, cabbage, cucumbers, bell peppers, hot peppers, cauliflower, kraut, dill pickles, green beans. So these are all category 2 fibrous carbs. Okay. So what this row is showing you is that you would pick something, and I want y'all to be imagining what you'd pick. Something from category 1 and pick something from category 2. Okay, and if somebody wants to share it with me, that'd be awesome. What would you put together from this and these 2 categories? So pick something from category 1 and something from category 2. Cook it up in the right oil, doctor it up with some condiments, and you have an excellent fat burning meal. Now, if you'll remember last night when I kind of recapped the categories, I said that category 1 and 2, yeah, Diane, that is one of a classic favorite, chicken breast and green beans, hamburger and green beans, another classic. Yes, that's awesome. And Karen, 4 to 6 ounces of ground beef and broccoli. Wonderful. I love it. So y'all are food combining right there. It's at its simplest form. Now, if I wanted to take something from here and something from here and make it be the fastest fat burning combination, which oil would I use? Melissa, a frank and kraut. Oh my goodness, you're getting a hot dog and sauerkraut. I love it. Awesome. That's right, Karen. You'd use MCT oil to make it be the fastest fat burning combination. And Deb says that she eats chicken breast and green beans often, and so does our friend Shibby Shop Sherry. She ate chicken and green beans for quite some time, as she's just enjoying this new lifestyle and figuring it out. Sometimes you're going to do simpler things to make it be to learn it and get the results that you want. But there is a lot of variety on Planet Shibboleth, I can tell you that. Okay, so we're going to come down. We have another category, category 7, shellfish. And again, Karen, it can be any MCT oil, but it needs to be 100% medium chain triglycerides. Like, for example, when you flip the bottle around, don't trust what the front of the bottle says. Look at the ingredients list. You want it to say medium chain triglycerides. Yes, Becky, canned green beans are fine. Canned, fresh, frozen, any of them are fine. Now, of course, there's good, better, and best. Fresh is best, frozen is next, canned is third, but they're fine. Okay, category 7, shellfish, 2 to 8 ounces. That's the same ounces as lean protein because shellfish is really just a lean protein. So crab, lobster, shrimp, scallops, oysters, mussels, clams. So really anything that lives in water that's not fish, whether or not it has a shell, goes here, even though it's called shellfish. So squid, I mean, if you were going to eat squid, it doesn't have a shell, but it would go right there. Okay. I had talked about frog legs tonight and made my friend Dawn choke when she said frog legs were a lean protein. I put them up there for just being funny. But what this is showing you is that you can eat shellfish by itself. Let's say that you go to an event and all the food out there they've got is just not good, not good. Fat bus bringing food that you're like, nope, I'm not eating that. But they've got some boiled shrimp. There you go. You can eat your boiled shrimp. So that would be by itself, and that would keep you in EFB, having a perfect day. Now you know how to make a good decision in all eating situations. Now, a lot of times this is where I see ghee butter being used. Ghee butter, like dipping some crab legs or a lobster tail, or making some shrimp scampi, or cooking some scallops. This is where I see a lot of ghee butter being used. And you can use whatever condiments that you want as well. Okay, we're going to scroll down one more time. And this is simply showing you that you can pick something from category 7 and pick something from category 2, cook it up in the right oil, doctor it up with the right condiments, and you have got an excellent fat burning meal. All right, but coming down again, we have category 4, protein plus fat. Well, first of all, I want you to know that there is nothing wrong with fat eaten in a portion controlled way. It's when we overeat it and eat it with the wrong things where the problem comes in. Now, what I like to point out right here is this says 2 to 6 ounces, because 1 gram of protein, like in your lean proteins, has 4 calories in it, but 1 gram of fat has 9 calories in it. So you're going to back off on the ounces just a little bit. You're still getting almost twice as many calories. Okay. Your whole eggs are here. All cuts of steak are here, all of them. Pork ribs, beef ribs, pulled pork, beef brisket, 93% lean up to 95.9% lean. And that's that ground meat, like we talked about earlier, chicken, turkey, beef, 93 to 95. Now, if you are purchasing anything less than 93% lean, it is not approved for a perfect day. Okay. Because when they say, ooh, this is 85% lean, it's really not. They've just taken a whole bunch of fat and added a little bit of meat to it. So for this ground meat, for it to be used on a perfect day, a protein plus fat would be 93 to 95.9, and lean would be 96 or above. And then you can also do turkey kielbasa, and you want to make sure that no more than 50% of the calories are coming from fat. So let's say that you want to buy some bologna. You're going to pick up bologna. You're going to look at the back, and if no more than 50% of the calories are coming from fat, then you could use that bologna. But if more than 50% of the calories are coming from fat on any of these types, like turkey kielbasa and hot dogs and things like that, then they would not be approved. You'd want to find an approved version. So as Becky showed us earlier, you can eat a category 4 by itself. So we can do that. But in this example here, we're eating it with a category 2, because that would really be optimal to have it with a fibrous carb. And then you're going to notice something right here. There is a column that is missing. What column is no longer right there? It was right before the condiments on every other combination. What's missing there? I'm sure somebody is currently typing something. Yes, there she goes. Melissa, Angelia, awesome. Oils. The oils are missing. Why? Why are the oils not here anymore? Because these are good application questions. That's right. That's right. Stephanie, Melissa, Karen, thank you. Yeah, there's already fat here. We don't need to add fat to it. Even good natural fats that we approve, you just don't need to add fat to it. So it's already got fat. So remember earlier, yes, thank you, Tracy. Remember earlier where I said this is where I would use my 0-calorie cooking spray, but I wouldn't use my MCT oil here. All right, we're going to scroll down again. We've got category 6, superfood, pintos, black beans, red beans, soybeans, all your nut butters, nuts and seeds. So these are superfoods. Now, a food qualifies to be a superfood that has all 4 macronutrients in it. It's going to have water in it. It's going to have protein, fat, and carbs. It's going to have all 4 in it. So that's how it qualifies. Now, there's a great range in those of how much each one of these foods has of those different macronutrients, but all of them have that in it. So this is kind of showing you that if you wanted to eat pintos by themselves, which you could do a cup up to 1.5 cups. But if you're using pintos like on a combined meal where you're also putting it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb, you're not going to use a cup to 1.5 cups. That wouldn't fit underneath your hands. You'd back it off to like a 1/4 cup, okay? But this is if you're eating it by itself. So you can eat superfood by itself. You could doctor it up with some condiments, but also you're not going to see the fats here either because it's already got some fats in it. It's got some carbs in it. So we're just going to not do that right there. So we're going to scroll down again. And this combination is showing you that you can put category 6 and category 2 together. So this is where Travis says you get your greens and beans, but this is where I like to point out that there's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. This is where peanut butter and jelly sandwich is. So obviously peanut butter is listed here. 2 tablespoons would be part of a meal. You can have peanut butter as a snack, up to 1 tablespoon of peanut butter as a snack, but you could use 2 as a meal. But it's not listed here, and we are going to go over some of them in just a few minutes. But what's not listed right here is loaf bread. There's actually about 60 approved bread or bread type items like loaf bread or lavash bread or pita bread or tortillas. Anything, there's over 60 approved ones on the website. So if you buy bread now, you might want to check yours out, see if it's approved. If not, you just make a simple swap. But it's not listed here because, to tell you the truth, these vegetables are better for you than a bread. But the breads that we approve, they break down in your body more like a green bean does than a bread, because it's got enough fiber in it, and it's got possibly some protein, and it's got lower calories because of all the fiber. Y'all know fiber is 0 calorie? So it is going to make a huge difference. So you could pick peanut butter and bread, and then you use jelly, 50 calories of jelly, and you've got peanut butter and jelly. All right. Now you would use an approved jelly, not a sugar-filled jelly. You're going to need to use a sugar-free jelly. There's also a low sugar jelly. And if you don't really like sugar-free things, there is a stevia sweetened jelly, or it's a jam called Good Jam. And I just picked some up in at Ingles recently. All right. Now we have a new category. Ding, 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 ding. This category, I want your mind to be trained to think ding, ding, ding on all of your favorite energy carbs. And not because they're not good for you. The approved ones, they serve their purpose, okay? But they've got to be combined properly. So you need that little alarm going off in your head. Oh, good. Oh, my goodness. Diane found good jam at Hobby Lobby. That's interesting. That's awesome. So you kind of want that alarm to be going off in your head, because you then want to say, oh yeah, I'm not supposed to eat that by itself. I need to eat it with certain things. And you would want to eat it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So about 1/4 cup is what you want to do. And it fits about right here. Okay. You've got your 1/4 cup right there. And it says up to 1/2 cup. I would leave that for maintenance, okay? But all of your potatoes are here. White potato, sweet potato, oatmeal, steel cut oats, Quaker fiber and protein oatmeal, long grain brown rice, most lighter colored beans like lima beans, peas, tomato, onions, carrots, whole wheat pasta, and whole grain pasta. Now, I'm going to start talking about some of these things because I think it's important for us to understand. Whole wheat pasta and whole grain pasta, 1/4 cup of that, most people are like, why even do it? So I'm going to go over more pastas tomorrow night because there's the Explore Cuisine pasta that is awesome for weight loss. There is the Carbonara pasta that is good for weight loss. And then there's Fiber Gourmet that is your family will love because it looks and cooks up and tastes just like regular pasta. So we're going to talk pasta more tomorrow night. So I believe there are better options for you than these two. Okay, carrots, once they're cooked, they are sweeter and they would bring an insulin release. All of these foods right here that I'm talking about bring an insulin release because they elevate your blood sugar when you eat them. And then your pancreas secretes that insulin to deal with that blood sugar elevation. And carrots are sweeter once they've cooked. Now, let's say that you just want to have a little palmful. Now, I'm not talking like a handful. I'm talking like a palmful of baby carrots, those raw baby carrots as a freebie. You actually can have that as a freebie if needed. Now, remember, we don't add freebies randomly to meals. Those are eaten in a moment of mental weakness where you feel like I'm going to give in. Okay, because we'd rather you have something approved that still was within the guidelines of a perfect day than to give in. Okay. So then onions and tomatoes, people are always surprised that onions and tomatoes are listed here, but they are, if you're having a quarter cup of those, you need to consider it an energy carb. But let's say that you're going to have a thin little slice of onion for a part of your condiment on a hamburger or something, or a thin little slice of tomato. If you did a thin little slice of it, you could include that in your condiments. You kind of just want to have a general idea of what that calorie count is. It's only like 4 calories for an onion. I looked that up one time for a thin little slice, but you can use that as a condiment. But if you're having a quarter cup of it, you got to call that an energy carb so that you combine it properly. Okay. All your peas are here. Like I said, most of your lighter colored beans. I say all your peas, but there's that one thing that garbanzo bean, which is also called a chickpea. It's actually a superfood. This is why it's very important for you to look up your favorite foods and know where they fall so that you can make your meals based on your favorites or your family's favorites. Okay, so let's say that you want to have some long grain brown rice. Do about a quarter cup. At a quarter of a cup of long grain brown rice, you did not overeat it, okay, which is good. Because if you go down to, I use this example in class tonight and many other times. If you go down to Ray's on the River and you order their 1 pound potato, there is no amount of food combining that can help eating a 1 pound potato, okay? So you still have to do things reasonably. So your long grain brown rice, when you eat that, it is going to elevate your blood sugar and your pancreas is going to secrete insulin, but you didn't overeat it. So it wasn't dose after dose after dose after dose of insulin that you would need to deal with a 1 pound potato. Okay. So you had insulin release. Then you also, now that you are learning Shibboleth, have eaten it with just this, we're going to keep it simple, chicken breast and green beans. Well, the protein in your chicken breast and the fiber in your green beans are going to neutralize the insulin release that comes out because of the long grain brown rice. Basically, you have just used food as medicine. And all within the eating of that meal, you dealt with that insulin release. That's awesome. This science is absolutely amazing. Okay, we're going to scroll down. And you're not going to see your oils here either because ding, 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 you do not want to eat fat with carbs besides your fibrous carbs. That would be fine. But you don't want to eat any fat with carbs that bring an insulin release. See, this is a carb, but it's a fibrous carb. It doesn't bring an insulin release. So you're not going to see the oils here for sure. Okay. So just to keep that in mind. All right. Now we're going to look at fruit, category 5 fruit. All fruit is in fruit. So I'm not going to read all the fruits, but I am going to go over the top 4 because they are the lowest on the glycemic index. Berries, apples, oranges, and grapefruit. So let's say that you want to make let's say that you are just hankering for some berries. You know, you're like, I want some berries and I want to eat them as a dessert. Okay. So maybe you have some, I don't even know what it would be, but maybe you have some pork tenderloin and some okra, and then you just take some berries and maybe you sprinkle a little approved sweetener on top of some berries. I like to do xylitol on berries because it's got the same crunch as sugar, and I will just sprinkle that on my berries and eat that up. And so you could do up to like half a cup of berries and have that as a little dessert if you wanted to. Eat it with the meal though, because that food combination will do its work. Okay, it's very important. But a lot of people, they like to eat berries in some Greek plain yogurt with some hemp flakes thrown in there. Now, I don't have hemp flakes listed right here, but we will briefly mention and talk about hemp flakes a couple of times this week, very brief. But on Friday night, I'm going to show you how to find a video on hemp flakes, and you can watch that from Travis because he does a great job with that. And you are not going to see the oils here either. Now, remember, when you are in weight loss mode, fruit must be combined properly with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. But one of the differences between weight loss mode and maintenance mode is that you can eat fruit by itself as a snack when you get to maintenance. Now, in maintenance, if you are eating fruit with a meal, you should still combine it properly, but you may also have fruit as a snack in maintenance. Okay, are y'all liking what you're hearing so far tonight? You liking what you hear? I'm going to go in and pop into some other things that people like to know about. And I welcome all of y'all back that were here with me last night. Thank you so much for coming back tonight. I hope that y'all are learning a lot of valuable information. I truly believe that this is the absolute best way to take care of the one and only body that the Lord has given us to live in here on this earth, his temple. If you've asked Jesus into your heart, this is his temple. Okay, let's take care of it. Let's do the right thing. These are the secrets to weight loss and wellness. It is absolutely amazing that all of this information is in this website at our fingertips. It is brilliant. And the fact that Travis and Sasha run this as a ministry with a low price point to get in makes a huge difference, because we want everybody to be able to have access to this information, not just people with lots of money to spend on diet programs. Okay, we want everybody to be able to access this. All right, so we're going to scroll down, talk about a few other things. We've got category 2 breads, as I briefly mentioned a minute ago. Less bread is always best, so keep that in mind. And you just don't want to have more than 100 calories worth of bread per meal. So if you're using like the Sara Lee 45 calorie Delightful, it's 45 calories each. So yes, you could do 2 slices. One would be better. Okay, so this is just a little nuance. Let's see. Karen is asking, at what point do sugar cravings go away? Typically, I'm at week 2. Each person, Karen, is different. Each person is different. Now, sugar is it's a drug that is really even more addictive than cocaine. So it may take you a minute. It may take you a minute, Karen, but stay strong and find some things that you like the sweet taste of that are approved. Use something like an extra or a little snack. You could try to do a sweet extra or a sweet snack. Use some sugar-free Jell-O. You can do some things like that to give your body that time to do that. Always make sure that you're getting enough protein in as well to kind of help offset that. You want to make sure you get your full amount of protein with a meal. Karen, I feel for you, but it will go away. You just got to stay strong. Okay, stay strong, because I don't know how old you are or were when you found Shibboleth, but I was 49. That was 2 years ago. And I just think about that. I had 49 years of habits to change. 49, so 46 years of habits. Oh, okay, Karen. Karen's blowtorching. Karen, I blowtorch pretty much too. So just stick with it, hang in there, drink lots of water. Travis does have a product at blowtorchfat.com. That's his Advocare site called Crave Check. Karen, Crave Check may help you out. You might want to check into that. It's at blowtorchfat.com, Crave Check. But think about this. However old we were when we found Shibboleth, that's how many years of habits we had to change. And It takes a minute, okay? But now I've been doing it 2.5 years and it's just like clockwork and I'm loving it. I feel so empowered that I know how to make decisions when I go places. It's very, very beneficial. Okay, Laura, how do you avoid headaches from being hungry? Okay, so one, always get your water in. I'm sure you're doing that. Yes, it is. It's very addictive. Sugar is. Always get your water in, which I'm sure you're doing, Laura. So get all your water in. Make sure that you are getting your full amount of protein with your meals. You want to make sure that you have enough for your body to be breaking down and getting those amino acids and everything that you need. But I feel like, Laura, that that will eventually go away as well. So it's one of those things that we got to work through those processes. Let's see, Angelia, I'm 50 and I still have sugar cravings and the treats work for me. But tell me what Travis has on his Advocare site again. I'm going to start using that. It's called Crave Check. Crave Check. And his Advocare site is blowtorchfat.com. blowtorchfat.com. The things that I personally buy from that website are the Crave Check, and I buy Carb Ease. So recently I went to Hudson Grill and on a holiday and I had some tater tots. I took the Carb Ease before I ate the tater tots, and that'll help ease the carb impact on your body. So I get the Carb Ease from there. I also buy the Advocare Coreplex. Yes, blowtorchfat.com. Thank you, Diane. blowtorchfat.com. And if I'm ever having a tough time sleeping, I buy the SleepWorks from there too. So I do buy quite a few things from there. And if you like that Spark energy drink, you can get it from there as well. Thank you, Diane. Y'all just stick with it. Just stick with it. But I would have to say that protein is one of the keys, getting enough protein in between your meals. Your body will get used to it too. We have to make sure that we understand and truly believe that this is the way to eat so that you can stick with it long enough to get your body to get whipped into shape in two ways, in its cravings and in its form. Okay, so I actually like to use tortillas a little bit more now. If I'm making, like instead of making a turkey sandwich, I'll make a turkey wrap because I only need one wrap and the ones I buy are 50 calories. So that knocks off 50 calories right there of the 100. But you just want to stick with less than 100 calories per meal on bread. So there's the La Tortilla Factory 50 calorie tortilla, Olay Extreme Wellness high fiber tortilla, Healthy Life bread, Bran Crisp bread, which is not a bread, it's a cracker, okay, a drier cracker. If you like pumpkin seed and sunflower seed type things, you can get that cracker. Healthy Life hot dog buns and the Thomas Light, the 100 calorie English muffins. These are all breads that will break down in your body more like a green bean. That's amazing to know that. Yes, Diane said Slim. Slim is another Advocare product that she likes for energy and appetite control. That's a good one. Thank you for mentioning that. Sasha, who is the CEO of Shibboleth, she's Travis's wife. She likes Slim. Okay, approved sweetener. Any 0-calorie sweetener is approved. So whether it's natural, whether it's Splenda, it's still approved. You get to choose which one you want to use, but they're all approved. Okay, approved beverages, water. Nothing takes the place of your water. You've got to get your water in. 0-calorie beverages of any type, unsweet or approved tea, and you can drink coffee with 15 calories of approved sweetener if you'd like. There is a whole list of approved sweeteners in the food library. And then cheese. Okay, this is talking about cheese. Let's see. For those sensitive to migraines, Slim triggered it for me. Okay, everyone is different. I wish I could have taken it. Yeah, everybody is a little different. One morning, now say I don't get migraines, but I had a bad headache one time when I woke up and I drank a Celsius drink, the orange packet, and it had helped my headache go away. But I don't know what's in Slim. I don't know what's in Slim that would trigger that, Karen. But thank you for mentioning that because that is important for people to know. Thank you. So cheese, all of these cheeses actually fall into a category. Any of the fat-free cheeses fall into category 1, lean protein. But this Cabot extra light cheese right here is actually a category 4, protein plus fat. So you can use them as lean proteins, and you can use them as protein plus fats. I like to make a grilled cheese sandwich with that. With this, I use either Borden fat-free or Cabot extra light, and then I get an approved category 2 bread. I use the I can't believe it's not butter spray on there, and I've got grilled cheese. But what I really like to do with that is I'll do 2 slices of the cheese. I'll put one on each side, and just a little bit on the inside, I will put some approved turkey deli meat, and I grill that up, and I have a grilled turkey and cheese, and it's a fat burning meal, and it will keep you at EFB rather than a fat storing meal. And all I did was switch up the cheese, the butter, and the bread, but it looks and tastes exactly the same. I was actually eating the turkey beforehand. But all of these things can be used as condiments too. So you can use up to 50 calories of all of these cheeses as a condiment if you would like. Okay, lean protein milk. This is actually very, very important. Do you know what whole milk is? Whole milk is fat storage in a jug because it is sugar and fat together equals fat storage. So we are going to use, yes, Monique, I love a grilled cheese too. We're going to use a lean protein milk. So these milks, they do not have any fat in them, and they have been fortified with protein. They're also lactose free if you need to know that information. So if you have a Kroger near you, you could get Kroger Carb Master. Kroger Carb Master comes in chocolate and vanilla too, not just original milk. I like the chocolate and vanilla flavored Kroger Carb Masters. But all around the country, no matter where you are, you can typically find that fat-free Fairlife milk, okay? So these are very important because if you like to eat cereal, you need to know how to, what milks to use with that. First of all, you want to make sure that your cereal is approved, and you want to make sure you know which milk to go in. Because think about cereal, how it's still starchy. Even the best cereal is a little bit starchy. And you're going to need to have no fat with that starchy stuff so that it doesn't get stored. And you're going to need protein to offset that. Let's see, I can't do cow milk. I usually use almond or cocoa milk, sometimes oat milk. Yeah, a lot of those are improved, Stephanie. You'll just want to search for those in the food library. Mainly those are category 4 protein plus fats. And you would want to only have that if you're eating cereal with a phase 1 cereal. See, we separate cereal into phase 1 and phase 2 because phase 1 cereal would be a better cereal, and that's how you could use almond milk, coconut milk, and oat milk and stuff like that. Okay, so just look them up individually and then read about them, and then you could use them with a phase 1 cereal if we're talking cereal. If we're talking using them in different ways, each one of those things that you have mentioned, Stephanie, will list how to use it. Okay, and in what way you can use it. And then Diane says, I love Carb Master vanilla milk for my coffee creamer because I can have a quarter cup because it's 15 calories. Well, that's awesome because that will give you, if for those of you folks who like a little coffee with your cream, that is a great idea that Diane just gave. Okay, so we're going to scroll down. And we've got 2 more things to look at real quick, and we'll wrap this up because I am not going to go over these restaurants tonight because I go over the restaurant guide on Friday night. Okay, breadings and flowers. So you can use coconut flour, Carb Quick, and we'll talk about that in a second. Bob's Red Mill, TVP. TVP is a textured vegetable protein. I have people who make meatloaf with the textured vegetable protein. It's not even meat, and their family does not know. Now, maybe they're really great chefs. I don't know. But that's just an encouragement to you to try new things. Almond flour. Okay, so you can use all of those things. We even have a recipe called Perfect Cornbread that is in there that uses some of these things. I like these because that Carb Quick, now notice this Carb Quick right here, it doesn't have a CK, it's just a K. And it, you know how I said earlier, it's really just simple swaps. If you use flour or if you use Bisquick or a baking mix, this is your swap for that. Carb Quick. This is a category 2 fibrous carb because this stuff is made with more fiber. Yes, it sounds good. Yes, try that TVP meatloaf, Deb. And Karen says it sounds good to her. That's awesome. But Carb Quick, okay, let me just put it to you this way. Eventually, you're going to be looking in the recipe library. We have over 6 pages of recipes that include Carb Quick. So you know how you have those staples, those everyday items that just kind of stay in your cabinet, your pantry and stuff? Carb Quick, MCT oil, and ghee butter are those things that you're going to kind of want in there, because one day you're going to look at a recipe and you go, oh, dang it. If I had Carb Quick, I could make that. Or if I had ghee butter, I could make that. In our little store online, if you go in there and you search for recipe starter kit, if you search for that, you're going to get the Carb Quick, the MCT, and the ghee butter. Okay. And that's just stuff. And first of all, those things take forever to completely use up, and they'll just be in your cabinet and you'll have them when you want them. But Carb Quick, who likes waffles, pancakes, muffins, cookies? Or you like to bread some okra, bread some chicken. You can make some, what is it called when you bread some ground beef? A hamburger steak or whatever. So you can make all of those things with this Carb Quick. Now, what you don't want to do is you don't want to use the recipes that are on the Carb Quick box. They didn't take into account the other Shibboleth guidelines. Okay, so you just use the ones that are in our recipe. But cheeseburger pie is extremely popular, and that uses that Carb Quick. And there's lots of other things that use the Carb Quick. I switched around even when I make unapproved cookies. I still use Carb Quick now. I cannot tell you how many compliments I've gotten on the Carb Quick. The fact that they're like, these cookies are good, but they don't even know. I'm just getting random compliments on my cookies, but I'm using Carb Quick. I'm like, okay, I'll take it. I never tell them. Okay, especially if they're on Shibboleth, I would, but if they're not, I just go, thank you. Because they probably have already heard about it from me, and then they've already told me no, that they don't care, that they don't want to take care of their body. So I don't bug them about it. I don't bug anybody that doesn't want to do it. If you want to do it, come go with me. I will take you along with me. But if I have to drag you along, that is no fun. So I don't worry about that if somebody's not ready. Okay, cereals. Now we're going to talk more about cereals tomorrow night, because tomorrow night we're going to talk about pasta and cereals and some other things. Tomorrow night, we're going over the food library. Do not miss that. I want to show you all the awesomeness that's in your food library. But some of the best cereals to get started with would be Kashi Go Lean Original, Kay's Natural Cereal, which we sell in our store too, and the French vanilla flavor. So good. And then High-Low Nutritious Living. Now, obviously, both of these can be found out in regular stores. And this is just a small little list, and you don't have to do cereal. This is just for those folks who do like cereal. Well, we're going to wrap up, but y'all, I would love for you to join me in the morning for the Shibby Show. It's about 7:30-ish in the morning, and it's just morning motivation, daily devotion, just us to focus that day. What are we going to do today? And then tomorrow night, I'll go over the food library and our monthly calendar, which we call the weekly timing chart, but it's a monthly calendar. I really want to explain that to you because that's a very helpful tool that you do not have to count on the scale. It's a non-scale visual, and it will help you recognize whether or not you're doing your best job. And then as we wrap up tonight, I just want to say that my prayer for you is right here. Keep them safe day and night. Give them courage, strength, and might. Thank you, Diane. I love that you come on there every morning. I appreciate it very, very much. You're welcome, Lee. Glad you're back here with me tonight. That's awesome. Bye, Sandra. You're welcome. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Diane. Thank you. I appreciate y'all very, very much. You're welcome, Becky. Hopefully, I'll see y'all on the Shibby Show. See, one of the most fun things about Shibboleth is the community. One of the ways that we stick together is by the Shibby Show and the Fast Track and the other things, because we do need to focus all the time to keep ourselves motivated, because you know the draw of that sugar and that draw of that other stuff can be pretty strong. You're welcome, Brandon. You're welcome. You're welcome. I think I said thank you to, you're welcome to Becky, but if I didn't, there you go, Becky. All right. I will see y'all in the morning. Yes, me too, Deb. Oh, can I just tell y'all the friends that I've made in Shibboleth, even if I don't know them? Like Deb, I know Deb, but I don't know her in person. I do know Diane in person, but she came over to see us from Mississippi. Okay. And then I met somebody from Michigan tonight who was down here from Michigan. She drove an additional 2 hours to get to us. It's like we're a destination location, and I love it. So me too, Dad. Laura, is the Shibby Show recorded? Yes. It is recorded, and it will be in your journal videos. If y'all want to hang out with me just one more second, I'm going to show that. So, okay, I'm going to Shibboleth, the website. And if I click on this yellow tab, videos and print material, you can scroll all the way. You kind of click on silver because it's in the silver level. The journal videos are in, these go in the journal video. Why is it called journal video? Because it sits in your journal and there it'll be live. But if you scroll down here and you click on journal videos, this is where every single Shibby show that I have done for the past 2 years is going to be, all sitting right there for you. Okay. You can go back and watch them, be encouraged. But every day right here in your My Journal tab, when you go in there to journal what type of day you're having, then there's going to be a video right here. If you are not seeing the most current video, like if I'm not popping up in there as the most current videos, it means that you have a backup of journal videos, because once you've marked some videos watched, then it'll start clearing these videos out. So just always just watch them and then mark yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah, Laura, this is where you're going to find it right here in the journal. It's really important to come over here too. And yes, it is saved on Facebook as well. But I like for y'all to come here personally because it leads you to journal and look in here and stay connected here. Do you know what I call this? This Shibboleth website, my account. This is my hub. I come here to my hub every day. Okay, what's going on? What am I doing? What kind of webinars are coming up this week? Okay, let me find some new things in the food library. Let me just play and see. And I've clicked on everything in this website. And I think y'all should too. Okay, thanks for asking that question, Laura. I appreciate it. And I do hope that you get to watch the Shibby show. And we always type hashtag Shibboleth for his glory if you're watching on replay, Laura. All right, bye everybody. See you on the morning and tomorrow night.